I welcome all of you. You are all our distinguished guests. We are very, very pleased to see you at this very exciting performance. I firstly want to point out that we are on Kaurna land, that we must pay our respects to the original owners of this land. It is a place of the red kangaroo, and only this week the Kaurna people were granted land rights formally over this part of the world.
My place is the placeless. My trace is the traceless. Neither of the body nor of the soul. For I myself am the beloved. I have seen the two worlds as one. One I seek, one I know, one I see, one I say. Thank you.
I'm a medical practitioner from the Manam town of, town of Manam in South Australia. It's not too far from me, but 85 to 90 km from Adelaide on the river bank of Farda. How I ended up in Manam after my long journey to come to Australia. I was born in the central south of Iraq in a small village. Was all the houses made of mud and clay. And third trip, we decided to go to Ashmore Reef. And by third one, after 8 days in the ocean, we managed to reach Australia. And then they took us to the detention centre for 6-7 months. And I was released, I think, in May 2000, after 7 months in detention centre, with only 75 cents in my pocket. And I knew no one in Australia. However, I studied hard to get my qualification recognized and to be able to work as a doctor. It took me almost a year to finish all my exams and be ready and fully qualified to work as Australian medically qualified doctor. And I started my work from 2001 until now. I managed to work in different places, and mainly in South Australia, from big hospitals, and eventually I decided to go and serve the country because I love the country. I'm a country boy. I always wanted to live in a quiet and small farm, and I managed to buy my own small farm and living in a little town of Manam.
The land that we meet on today, and I'd love to acknowledge that in one of the audience, I don't know where he is, but my dad is here, and I'm doing this for you. I'm sorry. I don't think about how I look unless there's a bombing or terrorist event in the news. That's when I get really more alert. I think, what if they have a go at me in public? That's the moment that I need to be more aware of my surroundings. But other than that, people have been really friendly. They even greet me in my language, Assalamu alaikum. As someone who works in retail, we get heaps of customers. And sometimes I expect that they refuse service from me because of my scarf. But no, they've been really nice. I think it's just a small percentage of the populations of Australia who are really close-minded. I have some friends who are Middle Eastern who don't get the same treatment, so I think I've been lucky. They have had some verbal and physical attacks. The media is not really helping in terms of trying to paint us as well. Similarly with Islamophobia, not all Arabs are Muslims. The biggest populations of Muslims is in Indonesia, and Arabs have more Jewish and Christians, so it's quite a mix. In the future, I hope to join politics. We don't have a hijabi representing politics in Australia.
اینجاست. وطن میزی چوبی که دور آن چای نوشیدیم و نفسی تازه کردیم پیش از آن که ماموران اداره مهاجرت برسند. وطن قایقی کهنه آواره بر موهای وحشی مدیترانه. دعا کنید دریا آرام بگیرد، ابرها آرام بگیرند، بادها آرام بگیرند. Where is the homeland? The homeland, a wooden table at which we drank tea and breathed a sigh of relief just before the immigration police caught us. Where is the homeland? An old boat adrift on the wild traces of the Mediterranean Sea. Pray that the sea calms down, the winds calm down, the clouds calm down. The old captain was saying, just before we danced among the waves. Kabul, Quetta, Tehran, Istanbul, Noroi, Wamera. The homeland perhaps is a hole in a cemetery in Adelaide that waits hungrily for my thirsty lips. Where is the homeland? Thank you.
زمین مست و زمان مست، آسمان مست، آسمان مست. نسیم از حلقه زلف تو بگذشت. بودم همه شب دیده به رفتار به سحرگاه، ناگه تو قریبت بزن آنها غمها که سر اومد زنگ غم را از ذهن زودم منتظرت بودم، منتظرت بودم، منتظرت بودم، منتظرت بودم. ساکینان کلندر نال کلندر مست مست Kuşum sarılmayı, kuşura hoş dermeyi, dilen bana hoş dermeyi. Ay Rusya, can berken bir yana, bir şey, nasıl bir şey, nasıl bir şey. My story with the word of greeting. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, everyone. I'm Fahim Hashimi, born in Afghanistan, raised in different countries, and finally settled in Australia. I graduated from a school in the middle of the regime of the Taliban in Afghanistan. I was the first in my class. All my points were 100. I was taking my certificate to show to my father, and the Taliban stopped me and cut all my hair. Obviously, I had better hair than this. I will never forget. It was traumatic. It means I had to go and shave my head because hair was not allowed to be fashionable or stylish. And when you're 18 or 19, you want this. 20 days after my arrival in Australia in 2018, I started doing the Cameliers documentary. I'm actually now a filmmaker here. The filmmaking went very well, and the filmmaking continued for 4 years. My friend tried her best to get some fun from for the film, but she never was successful. So finally, she gave up. But I never gave up. It was in my blood to never give up. Traveling to Alice Springs, to Odnadata, to Marie, you just name it, all around the outback of Australia, where I knew that Afghan Aboriginal Cameliers can be there. I was looking for those Afghan Cameliers who may be able to speak a little bit of Afghani. Fortunately, I found a couple of those people who could speak Afghani and who could pray, actually.
In Iran, I joined school to educate myself and joined Taekwondo to protect myself and self-defense. I also competed in many competitions and make lots of friends through sport journey. In 2009, I came to Australia in a broken fishing boat when I was only 17. I was one of the lucky person who survived, arrived, and settled in Australia. After 1 year, I could sponsor my beautiful, beautiful family to bring them in Australia, mom and dad, brother and sisters. And also, 2 last years, I could bring my beautiful wife in Australia. At the moment, I'm teaching Taekwondo and training to represent this beautiful land in international competition, as I did in past few years.
In this Harmony Week. I would like to keep my story short. I am Kabora Ali. I joined the Australian Army at the age of 18, becoming the first Afghan female in the Australian Army. I believe as an Australian citizen, we are all responsible to give back in some way, and this is my way of giving back. I hope my story has inspired you and you can read that in our own voices. Thank you. And can we all give applause to the performers in the backstage who have given everything to make this night possible.
My name is Rania Khouria Zahour. I was born in the midst of the civil war in Lebanon. My mum gave birth to me in the hospital elevator because of the bombing in the area. They couldn't get her down to the basement in time, so the only option they had was for her to deliver me in the elevator. I guess that's why things have always been up and down in my life. All memories from my childhood are of the war. Everyday life for me included the sound of bombs and the uncertainty of when it will be over. Night times were always the hardest because we never could tell if we would have a good night's sleep or have to wake up in a startle and race down to the safety of the basement. I remember my father always said to Mum, we need to get out of Lebanon and give our daughters a good future. My mother was very hesitant and never wanted to leave her home country. But the day came when my father lost his hope and patience with our country and could take it no more. He saw that there was nothing in Lebanon for him or his family, and so he made the decision to bring us all to Australia. And that's the best decision my dad has made in his life. We flew into Sydney in 1986. One memory I hold close to my heart is my visit to Baalbek with my older sister a few weeks before we came to Australia. It was as if Dad and Mum knew that we might never get the chance again to go back to Lebanon and see the great ruins of Baalbek. He was right, I haven't been back to Lebanon since coming to Australia. Whilst we were in Zahle, there was a big festival in the centre of the village. People from all surrounding villages came to celebrate. I remember thinking how beautiful it was for that instant. The music was playing, the drums were beating, and the people danced as if there was no war and nothing to worry about.
To just say a very, very quick but heartfelt thank you to every performer who is here tonight, who has given us such joy. I think a big round of applause for all of our performers. And especially a very warm thank you to Keith Preston. let's just mention Eugenia Soulis from the AMRC and Hassan Hazan